And we're back, live from the Daimler Media Night here in Hanover. Right beside me is Gorden Wagener, head of Daimler Design. And Gorden, you're about to explain to us the design of the future bus, the Mercedes-Benz Vision Van and the Mercedes-Benz Urban Etrog. Let me just ask one question. If somebody would ask you 10 years ago, would you like to design a truck or a bus, would that sound a little boring to you? Because 10 years ago, maybe it just was a box, but now it's a design.
Well, obviously the clear answer is yes. When you see tonight's three concepts, I think it's very stunning what we did here. And the cool thing is we apply our essential purity philosophy also onto the world of commercial vehicles. And I think that's kind of the latest thing that happened. It has never happened before, and I think it fundamentally changed the look of commercial vehicles, and that's a really cool thing about it.
Okay, let's start with the future bus.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. So our first vision here tonight of the three vehicles at the Daimler Media Night here at Hanover IAA Commercial Vehicle is the future bus, and it's very different to every other bus you have seen before. It's inspired by contemporary architecture, as this bus has to fit into urban environments. So it's very different. Let me start. Please follow me at the front. The front we treated basically like a black panel display, something you know from your smartphones. So it's a black panel with all sorts of information on it. First of all, that graphic which we have seen already on other Mercedes concepts, like the concept IAA, for instance. Here, of course, with a bus, most importantly is the interior concept. And if you look inside, you see different zone areas. It's basically a rolling lounge. This bus drives autonomous, and so the key is to make this bus the third place for people on the street, to redefine urban transportation. So we're having this arrangement, one in the front, one in the middle, and one in the rear, creating these different zones where people can communicate with each other and make that basically at home on the street. On the side, if we go back to the exterior, I think if you get a glimpse from the side, you see that very significant graphic which kind of ties the bus in the center and opens towards the edges. Pretty cool, the illumination when the bus is driving autonomous. You see these blue stripes basically following the graphic of this bus, and inside of that graphic there's all glass, there's all this black panel idea again. So this bus is very different to everything else you have seen before on the street, and here we apply our philosophy of central purity in a very wild way. But furthermore, the next and the premiere tonight is our urban e-truck, which has the premiere tonight. And of course, this truck ties in very much into the new design language we invented 2 years ago with the future truck. Now the urban truck ties into that philosophy. It's super clean. If you see seamless integration, pretty much what you know from smartphones and everything, to make this truck very high-tech looking. The stars in the center, and otherwise it's just seamless. We a very central surface. You see, it's nice and round, which is not only beautiful and sexy, but also great for aerodynamics, because the wind has to go around the truck, and of course improves efficiency very much, and creates this nice, beautiful round radiuses, which makes this truck sexy looking. We have very cool graphics. Here you see it's very mean. It's almost like what you know from sci-fi movies, like that Rocket Man and stuff like that. And here in the lower part, and that's again a very new invention, we treat that grille like a LED display. So you see all these LCD displays down here, and so you can treat it, yeah, like a TV basically. Offering different signals so that truck can communicate with its environment. The proportion is very cool. It's a nice, mean looking truck, but it's also very friendly due to the central surfaces on the other hand. So that's really a redefinition of truck design, something that has not been there before. We take our central purity philosophy, which is cool and hard, central and pure, what we learned in the passenger cars, and we apply it to commercial vehicles. Hey, we're actually online right now. This is Volker Monneweg,
my good friend,
our head of vans. And we created that idea together. He came up with all the concepts.
That's right.
You want to say a few words to the concept?
To the concept.
We're live online, actually.
Perfect. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say the Vision Van was an idea which we put in place to show what's possible in the future when it comes to the last mile. We think e-drive is the opportunity, the topic for the last mile on one hand. On the other hand, when it comes to, how should I say, the management of the loading capacity, all these new ideas which we have, how a package is coming into the car and how we can then finally, how should I say, deliver it to the final end customers. I think we have a lot of good ideas which we brought in, and especially
I think the coolest idea is the drones that are landing on the rooftop.
And then are coming the drones,
Yeah.
because with the drones we have the opportunity not only to deliver one parcel, we have the opportunity to deliver 3 at one time. Isn't that great?
Yeah, and they're pretty big actually. There's 2 landing on the roof, right?
Yes.
And then you have that loading system inside, and
Absolutely.
it's a rack that comes in,
Yeah,
and
then you can automatically, hand over the package to the driver, and then, as you mentioned already, we can then deliver 3 packages at one time, 2 with the drones and 1 by the driver.
cool.
Okay, I wish you all the best.
Yeah,
and
thank
enjoy
you so
it.
much. Thanks
It
for
was a
joining
pleasure,
us. Yeah. All right. And not only the concept, what Volker just explained is pretty cool. Of course, the design is groundbreaking, and this is another piece of seamless, contemporary, hot and cool design. You see this big surface of the sidewall. It's nice and clean and pure. It has a beautiful curve and tension to it, but it's seamless. There's not a single gap, and we have just a single line fading out into this huge surface, and you see the purity in design. This is something that has never been there before, and I'm very proud of that combination of the coolness of this design, but also of the sensuality and the hot aspect. The windshield is that visor seam, almost like virtual reality glasses, and it wraps all the way around. We try to keep the A-pillars very thin in order to improve visibility. And of course, most importantly, the front of the vehicle. And of course, it ties in to the other vehicles, as it's a family of transportation, of urban transportation for Daimler. So we are using the significant, what we call torch or eyebrow signature graphics here in the lamps, like we do it on the future truck as well. And also this vehicle has a digital grille that works as a display and communicates with its environment. You see, for instance, here is a world map that shows this is a piece of global transportation. And of course, the stars in the center. Otherwise, we just have a little intake here on the lower part and very sporty wheel arches, because we wanted this vehicle to have a great and sporty stance. If we look at the side, there's only one door at that van. Of course, that's the one the driver uses on the street side. So this is where he picks up his parcels pre-packed. He picks it out of this this opening, and then he can bring them out for delivery. When we go in, it's a completely seamless and radical interior design. We left out the steering wheel, the center column, everything. All you do is drive with a joystick. Come with me. Enter this vehicle. So you see no steering wheel. Everything is done by this joystick. So you can drive that vehicle electric back and forth, and of course through the entire city. And also when you look at the IP works, the instrument panel works as a transparent display covered with fabric, and all the information is down there. The status of the drones is here on that side. You see the drones where they are. This is of course the navigation, very important, and speed and stuff. And everything wraps around, basically. The IP wraps around into the seat, the free floating seat, and just a simple floor here. So, and you see that nice visor concept also from the interior. The screen, the windscreen wraps around, as well as the IP. So these 3 concepts are very radical. It's a great show tonight here at Hanover IAA at our Daimler Media Night. And thank you so much for sharing this tonight. Goodbye. Okay. War lang genug, ja?